Turnpike Sports is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishottle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishottle. Doug, I'm having a ball watching NCAA football, and I cannot believe we're quickly, days away, hours away from NFL football.
You know, it's almost like the NFL never left. And
it never does.
No,
but the NFL Network is 24/7, 12 months a year.
It's just amazing how it became a year-round business from way back when it first started. How it was just, a couple of weeks, 15 weeks, 14 weeks, something like that. So, but NCAA football, I've actually started watching some of it. And
I've been having a ball. I've been enjoying betting on it. Some of the games have been really great. It's been a lot of fun. I love this time of year. NCAA starts up, and then you have NFL, and baseball's ending up. The playoff pictures becoming more clarified for everyone, and it's just a great time of year.
Well, I've been enjoying a lot of the late-season baseball betting. The games have been getting really good. And but again, like I said, I think I say this every year, I'm going to make a concerted effort to try and watch more college football. Okay. I never follow through on it because I am a defensive football fan, and more often than not, there's no defense in college football. It's great for the overs.
Big scores, some really big scores during the first weekend, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun watching.
Got our first week of NFL football, so I'm all psyched out for that.
So we have our picks this week, right?
Yes, our very first picks.
Very first picks this week.
And again, this is like what's going to happen as every year. I jump out to a lead, and then just you take it at the rest of the season.
I got to be honest with you, I cannot remember how I did last year, but I guess we can check because we have them all marked down every week. We keep track of this thing. So.
You put them up on the blog.
Yeah.
We do 3 games, pick the it's either an over-under or the spread, and we put them up on the Turnpike Sports blog after the show is released, and you can actually take a look at our picks. You can comment on them. Go info@turnpikesportsradio.com. You can comment on the blog as well, make fun of our picks.
We'll talk more about.
We have fun with it.
Yeah. This is the most difficult week for me for picking NFL football because I really do not know what we have in the teams. A lot of starters haven't played in the preseason. I don't give much stock to preseason anyway, but no, this is going to be the first couple of weeks is very difficult for me.
I'll tell you, the one thing I noticed for the first couple of weeks every season, this is the time to bet against the Patriots. September always seems to be their worst month.
I don't know what's going on with the Patriots. But, hey, speaking of betting, we have a great guest coming up this week. We have Logan Fields. He wrote the book 2020 Sports Betting, Think Like a Pro, and he is the perfect guy to talk to going into this incredible betting season of football that we're approaching right now. He is a professional sports bettor, and this book is amazing. And I already won money with it, betting on baseball. So great tips in it.
Yeah, there are some good tips in it.
And, of course, we're going to have our pick segment, like we said. And then we're going to have a Beat in the House segment. Also, the book report where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country.
Got a loaded show this week.
Yep. It's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Speaking of sports betting picks, I came across this article in a couple different places, and I had to talk about it. I thought this was a joke, to be honest with you, when I first started reading this. Mm-hmm. And let me just preface it by giving you the background here. 3 researchers from the University of Zurich's Business Administration Department have reportedly been able to cut through all the calculations and statistics to deliver a simple sports betting winning solution.
Really?
Yes. These guys have done the research.
Okay, so...
personally, looking at the research they did, it's very, I would say, subjective because they set it up in such a way. They did it for soccer.
Okay, all right.
European football. Let me put that. They said football in the thing. It's really soccer.
So who these guys are from? These are professors, or they're part of the University of Zurich's Business Administration Department?
They are researchers.
They're researchers.
So they have advanced degrees.
So these are stat guys.
Yes.
All right.
They're not athletes.
Okay.
They are stat guys.
I would.
I'm only joking. We don't know.
The last person I would talk about betting are athletes. So the stat guys are the guys to talk about betting.
Well, here is their solution, and I'm just going to say it now.
Oh, they actually released it, huh, for everyone to see, huh?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You need to bet on the team with the worst record every time.
Really? That's
that
did
was
they get
what
a grant
came up
for
with.
This, or what kind of research is that?
I'll tell you, the university took a gamble on that research.
I guess they crunched the numbers, and I guess they have the numbers to prove it.
Well, the 3 guys from the University of Zurich explored the 5 biggest soccer leagues in Europe and the bets placed through betting exchanges on those 5 leagues. Okay?
All right.
So they didn't go to sports books, they went to the betting exchanges.
All right.
That's the ones peer-to-peer, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right.
So take that one with a grain of salt, too, because the odds change with those situations, too.
Okay.
So what they did, they went through, starting with sabermetrics. You know, the baseball thing?
Mm-hmm.
Bill James stuff.
Yeah.
And they termed the lucky team and the unlucky team based upon their sabermetrics research. The lucky team is the team that produced more wins than the expected results had indicated. The unlucky team is the opposite of that, the one that lost more games than the expected goals indicated.
Let me tell you something. If they
off the bat, I have problems with that.
If they want to do a serious study or create a serious algorithm, I don't think they should be using the terms lucky and unlucky, because luck implies that it throws the numbers out the window and it's pure chance.
Well, they
shouldn't use the word lucky or unlucky.
They termed it that way just for the research purposes.
Okay,
they went more wins than expected as the lucky team. You know, and then they went into what was happening on the betting exchanges. They found the odds listed for the quote-unquote lucky team were often overstated.
Okay.
While the odds for the unlucky team, the quote-unquote unlucky teams, were understated.
You know, there could be something to that. I mean, any serious bettor has their own algorithms. They make up their own formulas and charts, and, you know, they compare it to the books and see where they can find value. So, you know, I get what they're saying. Like I say, I have a problem with the terms lucky and unlucky. It kind of...
They probably could have chosen different terms for that. But again, I understand what they're doing,
yeah,
too.
Sure, I see.
It actually is a very subjective formula they came up with here.
Okay.
I mean, they analyze a lot of stuff, and that's for their research purposes.
And I'm sure I hope we're oversimplifying their study. You know?
I hope so, too. I hope so, too.
I hope there's something more to it than the lucky and unlucky, and the teams with the worst record have better betting probabilities. But I'm sure there's something more to this.
They took the sabermetrics results, mixed in with the results that they found what was happening on the betting exchanges, and they came up to the realization that if bettors were to target the team with the worst record in a particular game, again, these are all subjective setups here, they would see a return every time. And what they found out, always betting on the team with the worst record consistently produces a return on investment of 4.2%.
Now, when they say betting on the team with the worst record, are they talking about a money line bet? Are they talking about the point spread? Or what are they referring to?
The odds. I would have to be the point spread.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. I mean, I don't know about this, but I guess it would take some looking into. And
it's another arrow in the quiver. How about that?
I guess it's something more to look. I don't know, but I guess if it works for them, hey, you know what? My philosophy is if you have a system, if you have a model that works for you, God bless you. Use it, make money, do what you do, and and if it's great, and if you can explain it in a great way, and there's if it follows the trends, and you make a lot of money, and I can see how you do it, that's great. But don't use the term lucky and unlucky. It kind of cheapens your research.
The one thing I want to find out is if this applies to other sports other than soccer. They just looked at the soccer leagues. The 5 major soccer leagues in Europe. So,
well, what did they do when the teams that were playing have the same record? Did they just skip that one, or how do they?
Well, I think they looked at the overall record in similar situations. So, right. There's enough statistics out there, enough programs out there that compile this stuff.
Well, look, hey, I'll look into it. If it helps, it helps. Yeah,
any little bit.
Exit 2.
Now, we've been watching esports blow up all over the globe.
Yep.
In terms of popularity, in terms of betting, in terms of, competitions. But, one of the things that esports is being used for is by the military in terms of recruitment.
I got to tell you, it's, I understand that. I mean, it's, the military uses simulations, and esports can be seen as simulations. You need good hand-eye coordination for esports, and certainly that's a talent you would need in the military. So I guess that would be a good thing for the military to judge applicants on.
Every branch of the military, Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, Navy, and Space Force, which is a real branch.
It's still a thing, huh?
Yeah, it's still there.
It's
still part of the Air Force.
It's
still a real thing.
I didn't even know that was still in existence.
They all have some form of an esports organization within them, which they have been using to incorporate in terms of their recruiting arsenal, as well as also maintaining community in the body of active and retired personnel.
Well, look, I mean, if they're recruiting, most of the esports participants are that age that you want to recruit. I mean, they're in their college age kind of kids, and if they show a special aptitude for the technology and, like I said, the hand-eye coordination, hey, good for them.
Well, I found this article in Forbes that went through this, and I thought it was very interesting, so I figured let me bring it in here.
All right.
Here are the objectives that the military branches are using esports for. Recruiting, like you just talked about.
Yeah.
Ability to attract the younger generation. The ability to connect to society. So they could provide the public, like, with a little insight as to how the branch or the division operates. Training, developing skills for combat readiness.
Sure.
That goes without saying.
Like I said, simulations.
Yeah, physical and mental readiness. Maintaining the personnel community. Now, that's for building a community between active personnel around the globe. You play in a community esports tournament, you're going to meet other people, you're going to be able to chat with them. So, they're using esports as a way to maintain some sort of connection around the globe for their personnel. They also have family community because they also have family tournaments.
Okay.
Especially for military families. And then the retired communities. Maintaining community for military personnel in transition to increase connectivity in their post-military career.
Great.
So they've actually started using esports not only as a game but as a tool.
By the way, I don't think this is a new technique to get recruits. I cannot remember the name of the 80s movie, but didn't an alien race send down they sent down different video games, and the people who did really well in the video games they recruited as soldiers or fighters for them. Oh, what was the name of it? It was The Last Starfighter?
The Last Starfighter.
Was it? Yeah, no, they sent down video games, and the best players got recruited by this alien race to be pilots for them, right?
They sent down Atari branded video games.
Oh, wow, product placement. Yeah, so it was
The Last Starfighter.
The Last Starfighter. So
it was actually one of the first movies that really did a lot of CGI in the computer generated stuff.
To be honest, I cannot. I remember the premise of it. I can't remember
the
bits and
name of the
pieces
star.
of it. I can't remember who
names.
was in it, but I remember that, an alien race sent down a video game to see who had the aptitude to actually be pilots for them. So The Last Starfighter,
The
right?
Last Starfighter.
Okay,
go
good.
check that out.
Good. That's the first thing I thought of when you said the military's
See,
looking for that
was thinking,
esports to recruit.
when you started describing that movie, it sounded like that Pixels.
No.
This
This
one
one was certainly in the 80s. This was an 80s movie.
Yeah, no, I now remember who you're talking about.
Okay.
I think there was someone, Catherine Mary Stewart was in it or
I
something.
have absolutely no idea.
Or Catherine something or other, but
No idea.
I can't remember the guy's name, the lead. But yep, that was an Atari.
See, I'm going to look it up.
That
now,
was basically an Atari commercial.
Yeah, now I'm going to look it up now. The Last Starfighter.
But anyway, here are some of the branches that the military has. The Air Force Gaming Division. Mm-hmm. They launched a new intramural esports program for Air Force Global Strike Airmen and Guardians. The Army esports team does the Code Bowl competitions, which are live streamed on the Army esports channel. They have an Army esports channel, by the way. Marine Corps has the Marine Corps Gaming Division, and Navy does the Navy Morale, Welfare, and Recreational Worldwide Live Esports Tournaments.
Wow, okay.
So everyone's got a different little esports tournament. And by the way, the Navy generates 4 million viewers for their esports tournaments.
Great.
So nice to see a tool being used to help connectivity as well as recruitment there.
Exit 3.
Okay, we're going from high-tech to a bit of a low-tech kind of thing.
All right.
And this is not even a low-tech kind of thing. It's somewhere in between, I think. We're going to talk about an outdoor lottery game.
Oh, I heard about it. What? Colorado, right?
Colorado.
All right. Yeah, I've heard about this.
The Colorado Lottery has launched a new online interactive game and contest called Trail Trekker.
All right.
It takes the players throughout different locations along the Colorado Trail.
Is this basically a scavenger hunt? I don't know the basics idea of this lottery. I know it's outside. They have to do things and activity outside. Is this like a scavenger hunt kind of thing?
It's not really a scavenger hunt, but they got to go to these different locations and do some sort of puzzle solving. So, I guess you can call it that, but I don't know if the Colorado Lottery wants to be called a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, probably not. By the way, there's a weird outdoor thing that I saw on YouTube. It's called Randonautica.
Randonautica.
Am I getting that right? Where there's this weird app that it sends you to a place close by where you're located and you find weird things.
Yeah, it's sort of like entering a Twilight Zone kind of thing.
It's kind of everyone's doing outdoor stuff now. What the hell?
Well,
now there's a lottery game outdoors, huh?
Trail Trekker will not send you to weird places.
All right.
They are sending you to places that are funded by the lottery.
Hey, if it's a chance to win some big money, I'll go to weird places.
Not huge money, but money.
Hey, money. Hey,
it's a 10-week.
You go outside, you get some exercise, and you get some money.
It's a 10-week contest, and you're going to be looking at sites: State Forest State Park, Colorado Riverfront Park, Tramp Ranch, Horse Gulch, Fisher's Peak, Heartland Ranch, the Arkansas Headwaters, 11 Mile, and Roxborough Park. They're all the sites as part of this.
So I'm assuming you can jump in.
You can jump in any time you want.
Oh, okay. I thought
you just can't qualify for the grand prize.
Oh, okay. So to qualify for the grand prize,
you got to do all 10 weeks.
You have to do all 10 weeks.
This is running through November 1st, by the way.
And you can jump in any time, though, but you're not going to win the grand prize.
Each weekly grand prize is $500.
All right.
And you get it in either a Visa transfer or scratch card
tokens.
So
what's the point of this game now? What do you have to do?
Basically, it's you go to these different locations and learn about the state.
Oh, okay.
It's a historic, educational, money-winning thing.
I guess so. Yeah.
Grand prize is $5,000 as well as a camping kit.
When you say a camping kit, what does that mean? Well, like a tent and stuff?
A tent and everything.
Everything that
you
goes
need,
with camping?
Yeah, for your family and friends. You get a whole...
You would think if you
kit
do
and
things
caboodle.
like this, you would already have a camping tent or a camping
Well, you're not
kit
camping.
or
You're just
whatever.
visiting the spot.
You're just visiting?
There are
Okay.
hotels there.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's not desolate area.
Okay.
I mean, these are like
It
national
should be.
park
I'll,
things.
I'll go to desolate areas to win a lot of money.
Well, that's a Randonautica thing.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, this is actually kind of unique. I've never really seen an outdoor lottery game before.
See, I like that. Yeah, that's a
Outside
great,
the box thinking.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think it's for the northern. I mean, it ends November 1st, right? Because after November, the weather gets a little hairy there.
Yes.
Yeah. So
See, now if you really want to be for the hardy folk, you do it during the winter.
yeah, hey, you know what? Well, the prizes better be better if you're trekking through the winter.
Well, you have to register online at the Colorado Lottery if this interests you. You know, you register.
Yeah, if you're in Colorado.
Lottery online.
I mean, you have to be in Colorado for 10 weeks,
Yes,
right? Everything's in. So,
Or
as a New Jersey guy, I'm not going to register for the Colorado.
Well,
I could. I can live out there for 10 weeks.
Well, you have to have a Colorado residency, all that stuff, just
I'll
all
need
the
a
online
camping
sites.
kit.
Yeah. But this is it's different, it's unique, and
Yeah.
I hope they do more of these. And
I think it's a great idea.
I wish some of the other state lotteries, This is actually kind of fun.
The extent of my lottery is going and getting a quick pick, for the Mega Millions or the Powerball, which is now on Mondays. I have yet to play on Mondays, by the way.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right?
One's Saturday.
Monday,
Wednesday,
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.
So yeah, they
Powerball,
went to 3. Yeah, I guess that's actually just drumming up extra business for them. I don't know
But I like this concept of the lottery. You're out doing things. You're learning, I'm assuming, about these places. So good for them.
Well, it's something different.
Yeah.
Exit 4.
We're going back online now.
Okay.
We're going over to Facebook. Facebook is launching what they're calling the Facebook Fantasy Games division.
I'm assuming they're fantasy sports, right?
They are fantasy sports based on sports and reality TV shows.
Whoa. Okay.
This is in the United States and Canada through the Facebook apps.
I'm assuming these are reality shows that are almost kind of competition,
They're competition
like The
shows.
Bachelor, or I don't even know. Are there other things like The Bachelor? Or
The Bachelor and Survivor are two.
Oh,
of them.
okay, Survivor. Yeah,
Yeah. There's going to be more.
That's the
but
more famous one.
They're
Yeah, I can't
they're
believe I
starting
forgot
off with
that.
The Bachelor and Survivor.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And in the sports category, they're going to have pick and play sports. That's the overall umbrella term for it. And I think you can figure out what that is. It's a predictive game. Mm-hmm. In terms of who's going to win, who the MVP is going to be, other happenings, and you get points for picking correctly.
Well, since they're giving points and it's on Facebook, I'm assuming these are free-to-play games. Are they? Or yes? No?
At this time, they are free to play.
They are free-to-play.
But
Okay.
they will not be probably. There
Oh,
will be
okay.
a certain area where you probably have
and
to
I'm
pay.
assuming it's, if you do well, there are prizes that you can win, right?
They're giving you points, and as far as what the points add up to, it's really just a point contest. You get your name on a plaque or an electronic or an e-plaque or whatever you want to call it.
All right.
A leaderboard. So it's really just for points. This is for
Well,
fun.
can you get those points and trade them in for something? I'm assuming they must.
Well, you never have been able to do that in any of the Facebook games.
no. Okay.
No. I remember Farmville.
So you're
it was
Farmville?
it was like a simulator for a farm.
Oh, okay. You build your own farm, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was basically SimCity on a farm.
All right.
And there was never anything you got other than points for it. And you remember the old arcade games where when you got the high score, you put your name up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is. They're going to be doing the predictive games.
Not only in some games you got your high score, you put your thing
Initials.
up. You were recruited from an alien race to be a pilot for them.
See, I never
So
got
you
that
never-
high a score.
See,
Okay, I'm just going to move on.
You're
now.
not.
I'm
You weren't very good at these games.
No. I don't think Facebook has that game anyway.
Last Starfighter.
Yes.
Last Starfighter.
Right now, they're going to be doing the Major League Baseball home run picks, as well as La Liga winning streak. There are two of the games that they're going to be doing. They're going to start off with. One of the things that is interesting about this, it's not just you playing against everybody else. You can actually join a team, and teams play against each other.
Oh, good.
So it's kind of a little community building exercise as well. Everything about Facebook is all about community anyway.
Sure.
So, that's kind of, a little different, unique thing that Facebook is doing. I wonder if this is a step toward Facebook sports betting, though.
Oh, boy, you're taking that leap, huh?
You got to take that leap now.
I guess so.
They're doing predictive games. That's that in this industry nowadays. You got to look at that coming down the road. I mean, who knew Fanatics was going to go get a sports betting license, the clothing company?
Who knew?
So you never know what Facebook's going to do.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a big show. We got a Beat in the House segment. We got a Turnpike Sports book report coming up. But coming up next, I am talking with professional sports bettor Logan Fields, who wrote an incredible book called 2020 Sports Betting, Think Like a Pro. Like I said, it takes you into his thought process of how he forms these bets for football, baseball, golf. An amazing golf bettor. It's the stories that he tells are absolutely amazing in the book. And we're going to be talking with Logan Fields when we come back with more Turnpike Sports.
During these difficult times, we understand how important it is to stay healthy and safe. With so many of us confined to our homes and not being able to work, we feel the financial burden more than ever. Many folks lost their jobs and businesses. Others were furloughed, and some are working from home at reduced pay. Keeping up with your bills is not easy under these circumstances. If you have credit card debt and cannot keep up with your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros are here to help. Give us a call to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. Protect your credit and let us help you find a solution that fits your needs. We, your friends at Debt Fix Pros, are here to help. Let us take care of your credit card debt so you can focus on what is really important. Call for a free phone consultation at 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. That's 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. United we stand.
With some of the best promotions and offers in the sports betting market, PointsBet simply stands out. PointsBet is the only U.S. online bookmaker to offer points betting, where every yard, every point, every goal, even every play matters. Same-game parlays, good karma payouts, early payouts, and exclusive game day promotions and guarantees for all sports. PointsBet offers more bet types than any other bookmaker in the world, offering a unique set of markets that aren't available anywhere else. And now PointsBet is offering one of the best sign-up offers in the sports betting market today. New customers signing up with code BET21 receive 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Get up to $500 back if your first fixed odds bet loses, and up to $1,500 if your first points betting bet loses. That's code BET21 for 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000 at PointsBet. PointsBet. It pays to be fast. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Doing this show, I get to read a lot of books about gambling and sports betting, and recently I just read one of the best. It gives you tips about betting on football, baseball, golf, and even lottery. And we're going to hear all about it because on the line we have the author of 2020 Sports Betting Think Like a Pro, Logan Fields. Logan, thanks for joining us.
Oh, great. Good to be here.
I got to tell you, congratulations on such a great book. It's packed with information. I mean, I have my copy in front of me. It's underlined. I have things highlighted and starred. It's a really great book. I mean, and you're a professional sports bettor, and you have a great story about how you got started in this business. At what point did you think or get that concept that, you know what, I can actually make money sports betting?
This was way back in 1999. Man, 22 years, time flies. I was driving home from work, and the concept of betting on sports online was completely foreign. And I kept hearing ads on sports radio about this casino, that casino, or that sports book. And eventually I looked into it, and I couldn't believe what I saw. There was just hundreds of sports books. I signed up that very night because I wanted to take advantage of the Match Play Golf Championship. And if you follow golf at all, this is the annual competition where they'll pit the number one seed against the 64 seed, and they'll battle it out. And I knew there had to be value in underdogs because that old cliche, any player can beat any other player on any given Sunday. Well, it doesn't apply to golf exactly, but I knew there was value. I jumped on and had success pretty quickly. That weekend, I think I sent in $1,000 on my credit card. I mean, I didn't have much to start with. And by the end of the weekend, I was up to $2,000. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but this was the best sports betting week of my life. So I continued on, and I found one play that just really set me to high heights. The field bet in golf. When Tiger's listed to win a tournament, he'll be, let's say, 8-1, or in the past, of course, that doesn't apply now. But they also had a second column where you could bet at reduced odds whether he will place in the top 4, and that was reduced by 4 times. So you got 2-1 for him to place in the field. So I looked at the sheet and I saw that they had the field play, which is everybody else not listed. They would have 30 guys listed. And by betting the field, you're taking everyone else. So to win, you could bet 4-1 on the field, but they also had that place wager where if anyone in the field finished in the top 4, you would win even money. And I did some calculations, and I figured that I had about a 95% chance of winning that bet. I mean, if you're listing 30 golfers, what are the odds that those 30 will finish top 4? There's always going to be somebody else. So I knew it was just a gigantic opportunity. So I spent, the next days and weeks at Western Union outlets sending all the money I could to these offshore sports books. And sure enough, I was off and running in no time. And undefeated, I think I played it probably 2 or 3 months before they eventually stopped offering it. So that's how I got my start, pretty much on one play, and I was off and running from there.
It's a great story that you set out in your book. I mean, and I'm curious, what was the inspiration for writing the book, 2020 Sports Betting Think Like a Pro? I mean, who did you want to reach with this book?
Primarily recreational bettors that I figured I could provide some insight that might make their betting more enjoyable. It's not going to be for the guys building models, the sharpest of the sharp. They might find a couple tidbits here and there, but mostly I'm reaching out to recreational gamblers and to teach them how to up their game. It's not like other books where I'm going to go over what's the value. Should I take the 3? Should I take the 3.5 at minus 130? Not a lot of discussion there. I'm pretty much specifically addressing actual bets that I made and the thought process behind it, which is the title of the book, Think Like a Pro. I want to inform the readers of how you can be successful at this.
I want to jump right into the book. And since we are approaching, and when we're recording this, we're just about ready to start football season. Is that the most popular sport to bet on? I mean, regardless of if you're a professional sports bettor or a recreational bettor, is football king in terms of betting?
Football is king. It's always been king. The limits are higher. The opportunities, we're talking hundreds of prop plays, opportunities for college and NFL pros, the NFL. And it's just unbelievable opportunities. You could look, you might see 100 props offered for every game in the NFL. And you might find 3 or 4 plays that I determine that there's value there. So it doesn't sound like much. But, when you're talking a 16-game slate, all of a sudden you got 50 live wagers going. So it's very high dollar. It's always going to be football. Golf is up and coming. Believe it or not, last January, looking at the NFL, the totals, they were maybe 5,000 early Sunday morning, and they had run-of-the-mill fourth-round golf matchups with limits of double that, of 10,000. It's just unbelievable. So if you're interested in golf, in the old days it was trouble getting action down. The places just didn't want to take enough, but it's really up and coming. I guess fantasy sports had a lot to do with that, with their huge prize funds for their contests. But I'm just amazed at what I see in the limits of golf. So NFL is king. Golf, for me personally, is a close second.
I'm glad you mentioned the type of bets you like to place on football in your book. I mean, what types of bets are the most successful for you in football, and what is your philosophy when thinking about a football game?
Okay, my philosophy, am I going to tell you who's going to win the game? No chance. I rely specifically on the numbers. I'll take the numbers. I have a massive database that you have to pay for, or some guys might be talented enough to run their own, but I pay for all my data. And the type of plays I'm looking for will take a game with 3 and a total of 45 in that typical NFL game. I'm going to be able to tell you within the penny what are the odds of a team scoring in the last 2 minutes. Who's going to score first? Will the first score be a TD or field goal? Those are the kind of plays that I hone in on. And like I said, they're going to make mistakes, or other bettors are going to make mistakes that are going to drive lines into territory where you can take advantage. But the lines are sharp. You're not going to be running down the list, making plays left and right. You got to search for them. So Saturday and Sunday mornings, they're very busy because of all the wealth of offerings to look at, to evaluate. So those are the kind of plays. I do player props as well. Will Brady throw for 350 yards? But they've gotten very sharp over the years. It's tough to find value there. But mostly it's the number props, the time of the first score. Will there be a special teams touchdown? Those kind of plays.
Speaking of props, I love the section in the book about the Super Bowl props. I mean, being from New Jersey, every Super Bowl I go down to Atlantic City to the different books to really get the full experience of the Super Bowl. And one of the most popular bets down there, I mean, I have never bet on it because I always think it's just, 50-50, but I'm thinking differently now. One of the most popular bets is the coin flip. I mean, I'm bringing this up because in the book, you showed how you actually researched the coin flip and you actually made money right. with a couple of parlays on the coin flip. I read the section. I said to my producer, Doug, you have to read this. He researched the coin flip. This is great. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's a phenomenal thing that you did. Can you explain how you went about winning the Super Bowl coin flip?
Okay, well, it wasn't whether it's going to land on heads or tails, although I've heard some discussion there as well that the heads is heavily weighted, but I'm not going to get into that. That's a little too crazy for me. But what I did, there was a parlay offered. I figured out what the team, the visiting team, I believe it was, who was it now?
It was,
I can't even remember now.
Carolina, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Carolina. I got all their radio broadcasts. They had the same guy calling it, Julius Peppers, I believe it was. He called heads every single week. And I knew that there shouldn't be anything different. He was strictly a heads guy. Actually, yes. Or was it tails that he called? Well, whatever. But I knew that, so I could couple that. What will the swing cost be, and who will win the toss? So I knew with Peppers calling that heads and Carolina wins the toss would be a good two-team parlay, and sure enough, it did come down that way. And then you could also take the adverse. You could take tails and whoever they were playing and go that way. So I had tons of parlays. I would put those two on all the parlays because I was limited to what I could do on any specific bet. So it just came down to figuring out what the actual call of the coin would be. I haven't seen that offered lately. I look eagerly each year for a chance to do this again, but sadly, haven't seen it offered in recent years.
One of the great things about betting Super Bowl props is now that has that one thought in my head from your book. And you said, I wrote it down, and you should probably make T-shirts out of it. We'll sell it in Atlantic City and Vegas. You said for Super Bowl props, take yes and over for fun, no and under to make money. What do you mean by that? And I think it's such a great saying.
The public basically likes to bet for things to happen. They want to see Brady throw for 400 yards. They want a running back to rush for 2 TDs. They want the premier defender to get the interception. So public money is always going on the yes for things to happen. It's no fun. The old stalwart no safety. I mean, you have to lay 1 to 8 odds. You have to put up 800 to win 100. That's just no fun. It's a terrible sweat. You're worried about the whole game when a team's inside their own 5. You're worried sick the whole game. And when's the last time you've seen guys celebrating winning a no safety bet? It just doesn't happen. It's not fun. But to make money, that's where the year after year, if you go unders and nos, for the no is will things happen? You're going to go no. It's far more lucrative because of the public's driving the prices up for things to happen.
Speaking of football, one of the things I'm seeing in the news a lot, and I'm hearing a lot of commercials for it, and these are the Vegas football contests, which is a uniquely Vegas thing because we don't have them in New Jersey or Pennsylvania or anything like that. I know Superbook has one. I know Circa has a couple of them. And like I said, it's a uniquely Vegas kind of activity. How do you approach these contests, and are they worth it for recreational bettors to even get involved with?
Pretty much for fun, and I have a chapter in the book about the Super Contest. Yep. And you'll see that anyone can get the hot hand. It's not the professionals that are winning. It's the barista at Starbucks who won 2 years ago. It's very ordinary sports bettors who just happen to get the hot hand. So, it's kind of like playing the lottery. And I looked at all the past winners and evaluated how have they done. Do these guys really have something special? Should we follow them? Should we pay them for their picks? Their records since winning, going back 10, 15 years, I looked at all the winners, very pedestrian. And I always say beating the NFL is a tough slog. I mean, next to impossible. Maybe there's a select few that can do it. As far as the contest goes, my approach, I'm taking a contrarian approach. I'm going to go with teams that other people. There's a lot of squares in this contest. It costs $1,000. You might think that that's going to be more conducive to professional action, but it's mostly recreational bettors. And recreational bettors like the hot hands. They like the favorites. So I'm going the rest, figuring if I can even now every 3 weeks there's a prize. So if I can get a hot 3 weeks taking teams that other people aren't taking, then I could win one of the 3-week prizes, the 6-week prizes, or I could go the whole season and land in the money. So I'm really going. I don't want to take teams that other people are on.
Well, with football starting, it also means that we're coming toward the end of the baseball season. How do you approach baseball betting? I know you made a point of it in the book, saying the key to finding value bets is based on the large number of games and building or buying a huge database. How does a bettor use those aspects of the game to find value bets?
The advantage about baseball, there's so many games. I think there's over 2,000 a season. So my database is 20 years old. I can tell you exactly, if you give me an over-under of 7.5, I can come within a penny or two of telling you or showing you what the odds are for a run in the first inning. It's not rocket science. You just take all the games, the thousands of games, with an over-under of 7.5, and you're going to come up with a really accurate number. And as I display in the book, or I discuss in the book, that on an NFL Sunday, come baseball playoff time, there were odds on the run in the first inning that were just way out of whack. There's value sitting there all day in the Vegas sports books on a Sunday. Everybody's focusing on the NFL, and there's value just staring at you. So those are the kind of plays that I focus in on, the plays that other people aren't paying attention, because the plays that people are paying attention, the NFL sides and totals, it's going to be really difficult to beat that long term. So baseball props are one of the ways that I can win long term.
I am so glad you brought up the scoring in the first inning bet, because I read it in your book. I tried it last weekend during the Diamondbacks-Philly game, and I also tried it during the Rays-Oriole game, and I won both bets, so I want to thank you for that. So,
great. Did you use the specific numbers that I had in the book, or did you come up with your own?
I actually followed what was in your book, and, I looked at the different matchups, and, and it really, really worked, and I was quite frankly shocked that it did, but it was like a revelation to me. So, can you explain that a little more for the people out there? How should a bettor approach placing a bet on whether there will be a score in the first inning?
Okay, I have my database. It's tough to start from scratch, so you're probably going to have to pay for that. But if you're serious about getting into this, I'll look at the total. I'll see that, let's say it's 7.5 for a Major League Baseball game. You can find, and I'll throw in the run line as well. Say it's minus 150 for the home team. I can find in my database 500 games with that exact scenario. So if you run the numbers, you can figure out exactly what the odds are that there will be a run in the first inning. Let's say it's 260 times there was one scored and 240 times there was not one scored. That means the odds are roughly going to be minus 110 on the yes. And with an over-under 7.5, that's pretty low. You're going to have some studs on the mound. And once again, the public enters and they're thinking, oh, this is easy money. With those two guys, there's not going to be a run in the first inning. So it drives up the prices. So for, as I mentioned, it should be minus 110 for the yes. There should be a run scored in the first inning. I'll see odds of plus 120, plus 130. It just gets wild, crazy, especially right before the first pitch. So once again, it's the public driving up prices, and which creates value for the astute bettor that's done his homework and knows exactly what the line should be. So basically, it's just using past data to predict what's going to happen in a specific game.
One of the great things about your book is that you say you should look at the soft sports to bet on. I mean, those sports you classified as auto racing, tennis, soccer, boxing, and hockey. Why do you feel that there's a lot of money that can be made through those sports?
Basically, there's less interest, although tennis, that's getting a lot of sharp action lately. Just basically where the big money, where the sharp action is, there's not going to be a lot of value there. These are lower limit sports, and it's just a way to make money with lower limits. I'm not one that's going to have a $10,000 wagered on a football game, but I may have 100 bets with 200 maxes. So, it comes out the same. You're not going to have the big highs and the lows. But so lower limits equal, but a high volume. So that's pretty much how I get it done. Tennis, you mentioned. I do some tennis over-unders with sets. And once again, I have a database there as well. So I'm very seldom am I making a bet because I think something's going to happen. I could show you why I'm making the bet based on historical information. If you got a big serving guy like John Isner, what are the odds that his match is going to go over 25.5 games? Things like that. I can show you with data why I'm making the plays I do. Very little intuition goes into what I'm doing.
Speaking of soft sports, I'm always astounded at how anyone makes money off of table tennis, but I know they love it in Colorado, so good for them. If you make money off it, great. But
right.
I'm interested, you mentioned hockey as one of the soft sports, and here in New Jersey, I'm constantly getting promos for the Philadelphia Flyers, Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, New York Islanders. The fact that sports books are really paying attention to these sports in the form of promos, is it harder to find value bets when sports books really concentrate on sports like that, the soft sports as you call them?
I believe because if there's enough focus, suddenly that soft sport turns into something a little more harder. Once again, as far as winners and losers in hockey games, I don't have a clue, but what I focus on is what team will score first. What are the odds that a game will have the winner will have 3 goals? Will there be overtime? Scoring in the first 10 minutes. So those are the kind of props that I look at. They're still soft because, once again, limits are low and the sharp action is not going to gravitate towards these kind of plays. I should also mention that the challenge, somebody said years ago, the winning the money is not the hard part. It's staying under the radar. A lot of these books, specifically, you could probably tell me more in Jersey. I'm hearing things that they're very quick to cut off winners.
Yep.
So you're going to have that problem. Half the battle, you got to stay under the radar. And once in a while, there are higher dollar plays that I'll make on a side or total, just to not only be a prop specialist, which is going to get their attention. So sometimes it's required to mix in some action. depending on the specific sports book. I mean, there's some books that will take on anything and everything, and you don't have to worry about that. But I understand that is a problem playing the props, especially in Jersey.
Well, I want to ask you about another challenge, in that sports betting is constantly changing. And one of the reasons is that sports are changing. I mean, in football, they moved the extra point back. There's a 2-point conversion. Kickoff returns are really a thing of the past. And now there's 17 games a year. In baseball, in extra innings, there's automatically a guy on second base that you have to figure out how the odds figure in with that. And just now, with regard to the NBA, I know books are now taking into consideration the idea of load management, making the season totals a little lower from what they have been. How are you as a sports bettor adapting to these changes, and how can you follow the trends when, things are changing that quickly?
Boy, Dave, you really hit on something with this baseball extra innings. I heard a month ago they weren't going to continue it for next year by putting the guy on second base to start the extra innings. But these are the kind of things that come up and you can make some money. I looked at that extensively. I've been monitoring it all season. When you put a guy on second base, believe it or not, in the top of the 10th, some teams are trying to bunt him over to third base. I mean, Bill James proved that years ago that bunting is but there's still some stubborn old school coaches that continue to play this kind of baseball where you're trying desperately to get the guy over to third, and yet it's kind of like a cheap run because the home team's going to come up with a guy on second anyway. The real run, you want to score 2 runs in the top of the 10th. That's what you want to do. I mean, it's great if you just score 1, but it's cheapened, and now they're still bunting. This is old school, so I'm focusing on the managers that will do this game after game, and this is one of the ways that you can win off of baseball. These rule changes. You mentioned the constantly evolving, changing landscape this year with the NFL and COVID. Who knows what's going to happen with these season over? They've said that last year they got in all the games, but this year they said there's going to be forfeits. If they can't fit them into their 18-week schedule, teams are going to forfeit games. I think, to me, this says that everything will gravitate towards the middle on season totals. If you got a team with like one team, who did I see that has 4? Their over-under is 4. I believe it's Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have other teams on the other end of the spectrum that are at 12. I think Tampa's at 11.5. Kansas City 12.5. When you throw in the intangible of potential COVID-related forfeits, this throws everything out of whack. So I'm thinking overs on the lower. The teams with lower win totals, and under on the teams with higher win totals. So it's constantly changing. The extra point you mentioned as well. The lack of kickoffs, that I discussed that in the book as well. That you've seen a sharp decline in special teams touchdowns. And I think the books are finally catching up, but for a year or two, that was very lucrative. Just take no, because you're eliminating 10 to 15 touchdowns a year on kickoff returns, and there's only 256 games, so that's significant. So these are the kind of things, anytime you see a rule change, if you have analyzed it correctly, you can find value in props that you would basically ignore in the past.
Now, in terms of betting, you said that golf is your favorite sport, and the section on golf betting is so good in 2020 Sports Betting Think Like a Pro. It's a fascinating read. What is it about golf that makes you a successful bettor in that sport?
Okay. Years ago, I would look at the board, I would analyze, I would do the old school method of looking at course form, current form. That has gotten a lot more difficult. There's way more sharp action than there was 10 years ago, and the lines are very tough. It's almost getting to be like the NFL. The lines are really sharp, and you're talking a 30% spread. It is tough to beat, but that's not saying there are not opportunities that come up. I talk a lot about golf injuries. in the book. When you talk about the NFL, Tom Brady, he didn't practice on Friday. There's a flurry of activity. The line moves, and he's one guy on the 50-man roster. On golf, when you have an injury, he's the whole roster. I mean, that's it. And if you find out a golf is injured, he's not going to play most of the time. They always say the old cliche, beware of the injured golfer, but that's pretty much just a cliche. I haven't found that to be accurate in real life. I mentioned in the book I read the night before the British Open starting, and there was a golfer, Chris Wood, who was crying in tears because of a neck injury. And when I'm handicapping a golf match and I see that one of the combatants is in tears the night before he tees off, that's a green light special to me. I think that can go for any sport. I mean, anytime you got guys crying, that can't be good. So I jumped on Chris Wood for all that I could. I mean, I didn't even know much about him. The only thing I knew about him is he was a tall, skinny guy. He's like 6'6". But other than that, I saw the tears, and I faded him big time. And believe it or not, the next day he played 12 holes and then dropped out. And it's not like tennis where the match has got to go the duration. In golf, you hit one shot and you drop. The other side's a winner. So those are the kind of things that I focus on. I'm getting away from trying to analyze because I haven't been real successful doing it old school and handicapping the matches in recent years. So now I'm kind of going after the low-hanging fruit. I'm spending time looking at the fantasy sites for information on golfers that may be injured or not at 100%. And what I really need, what would be great is to have a guy on site, like a caddy or something. Can you imagine the information you could get from one of those guys? I think the PGA Tour would probably frown upon it, but man, that's on my to-do list. Is if I could get a contact and say, "Oh, this guy's spraying the ball, he's rubbing his neck," it would just be. And with the limits so high now, a guy can dream.
In your book, you give incredible stories about how you bet on golf. And I think the great thing about the stories that you tell in the book is we get to look inside your thought process, which is very valuable for new bettors out there. Certainly injuries are important. Are there other things that new bettors should be looking for golf tournaments to get an edge? Or is weather important? I know you mentioned weather a lot, too. What are the things that new bettors should be looking at when they want to make an educated bet on golf?
Weather, there's also early, late tee times. I look at so many weather reports, and 99% I'm not finding anything there. But on a European event just 3 weeks ago, it was played in Scotland. When you play in Scotland, the weather is very fickle, and I found a big advantage for a guy playing early on Thursday and late on Friday. The bad weather was Thursday afternoon, and I think I went like 13-2 playing this. So there's opportunities. It's worth it. So weather can be a big advantage. Most of the time, it's a waste of time, but there are opportunities, specifically in the Scotland events. And once in a while, even in the U.S., you'll find sizable advantages, but mostly the British Open. You'll hear guys moaning every year, I was on the wrong side of the draw. And if you get that early enough, you can take advantage of it.
Now, I just spoke with the head of gambling of the PGA Tour, Scott Warfield, and I know golf is making a big push to increase betting on the sport. As a gambler, is that good news for you, or do you think that since the PGA is going to be paying more attention to sports betting, it will be more difficult for you to find value bets on the sport?
I think probably it will be good because the more money you put into the sport, the more the operators are looking to find unique offerings, and that's what I'm looking for, those unique offerings. I should mention the prop markets in golf. I find a lot of value there as well. Once again, lower limits, but lots of value. So I think the more eyes, the more attractive it becomes for people, the more marketing they do to get people involved in golf betting, I think it can only be helpful to me in the long run.
I want to ask you about price shopping because that's a big issue here in New Jersey. I mean, we have 20 online sports books, and I'm a 10-minute drive from Pennsylvania, so they have another 13 online sports books as well, and I'm not even mentioning the retail books we have in the region. Is there an efficient way to price shop? Because it's getting a little overwhelming for people in New Jersey, and we haven't even had New York go online with their online sports betting yet. So that should be interesting too. But is there a quicker way to do that, or you just have to roll up your sleeves and just go find the best and analyze each one of these?
Well, I think it's critical. It's not for the prop betting that I do because I'm pretty much betting limits because the limits are low. So it just, is it a good play or not for me? But there are times, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, where I'm going to make a high value play. I'm going to make a play on an NFL side for a couple thousand. Then the price shopping is just critical, especially for the long-term bottom line. It's easier to do it online and with the mobile accounts. I don't know if there's any site that monitors all these, but it's definitely worth looking into. In Vegas, you can find several places that will list the 11 or 12 sports books and the odds for each one. So I don't know how far along they are in the Jersey-Philly market with that, but definitely worth looking into because, as you pointed out, price shopping is just critical. You got to get the best number you can.
Now, when you started sports betting, you dealt primarily with offshore sites, and you told a horror story about one offshore site about losing money or something happened to your account. With sports betting spreading across the U.S. with state-regulated sites, has it become better for online bettors in terms of security of online accounts?
I believe so. I mean, when you're dealing with outfits in Costa Rica, a whole different set of laws. So I haven't heard of any. I've heard of some kind of unscrupulous activities with sports books and predatory and holding up withdrawals. But I think in the U.S. you're protected and can feel pretty relaxed that you're going to get a fair shake. So I think anything in the domestically is going to be far more secure. But even offshore now, I still have accounts. I still play offshore. I haven't had a problem in years because it's consolidated enough. The little guys have been eaten up by the bigger ones, and I feel very, very secure with the handful of books I'm playing at.
Now, your book, 2020 Sports Betting, Think Like a Pro, is very complete. I mean, you talk about strategies even for blackjack, lottery, you even talk about Jeopardy. We don't have a lot of time left, but I want to ask you about the lottery because it seems like everyone plays the lottery. Give people some tips that you set out in the book that they should know about when they're playing the lottery.
Okay. I don't want people to think that buying my book is going to make them be able to beat the lottery. I'm a little concerned about that. I'm getting angry emails. But as I said, there's some value in dreams, and the lottery is a dream. I can tell you how to improve your odds. I'm not going to tell you how to beat the lottery, but in pari-mutuels where you're picking your own numbers and the payouts are arrived at by the number of winners, you can be kind of like a contrarian strategy with the lotto going up to, let's say, 56 numbers. Stay away from numbers 1 through 30 because they're calendar numbers. You're going to pick the days. You're going to pick your kids' ages. You're going to pick their birthday days. And I show in the book with proof that when you have a pari-mutuel, when you pick higher numbers, your payout's going to be greater. You pick all the low numbers. Let's say you win 5 out of 6. I showed in the book your payout might be 500. If you win 5 out of 6 picking higher numbers, your payout may be 12, 1300. It's a substantial difference. So I provide a few tips in the book as to how, when you do win, you're going to get a greater piece of the pie. As far as a lot of those, keep in mind, are set values, but these are for pari-mutuels, and there still are plenty of those around. So high numbers, good. Low numbers, bad.
In your book, you said we could be entering a golden age of sports betting. What do you think that means for the established sports bettor, and what does that mean for people who are just getting into sports betting right now?
Well, you mentioned, Dave, there's 33 books within Jersey and Philly. I mean, and they're going to be scratching and clawing for all the action they can get, and I believe that offering unique wagers is one of the ways they will do that. And when you have 33 in that area there, 33 operators, you're going to have some of the lines makers that aren't going to be as sharp as the other ones, and you're going to see lines posted that can be exploited. So I think the more that you have, and the more I'm in California, I'm anxiously waiting 2022. Supposedly next year we're going to get it out here, but I think the more books that come onto the market, the more opportunities there's going to be, specifically with high competition. They're going to make mistakes.
Logan, we don't have a lot of time, but can you tell people how to get a copy of 2020 Sports Betting Think Like a Pro?
Yes, great. It is on Amazon, and if you just put in the search field Logan Fields or 20/20 sports betting, I'm sure it'll come right up. It was published by Huntington Press, Anthony Curtis in Las Vegas, so you can get it, I believe, for a slightly cheaper price. I believe it's still selling for $20 on Huntington Press. And to reach me personally, I'm LoganFields49@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter, LoganFields49.
Logan Fields, author of 2020 Sports Betting Think Like a Pro. Thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the book. The information in the book will not only help new sports bettors, but I think it's a valuable read for people who have been betting for years. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us about it.
I appreciate it, Dave. It's been a pleasure, and thank you very much for your enthusiastic support for it.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let BCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective BCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. That's right. Get the bathroom of your dreams now and pay for it in 2021. Call 1-800-308-8291 for a free no-obligation price quote. That's 1-800-308-8291. When you want quality bathroom products at a great price, it's got to be BCI Bath & Shower. That's 1-800-308-8291.
The Casino Esports Conference returns to Las Vegas this October 6th and 7th at the Alexis Resort. The Casino Esports Conference brings together online and land-based gaming operators with professionals from all avenues of the esports industry. This two-day conference and exhibition will allow attendees to discover new revenue and traffic through esports events and wagering. The Casino Esports Conference is the preeminent event to meet, share ideas, explore a wealth of product and service solutions, and to find the best way forward in the lucrative market of esports. CEC is the only conference covering the legal, policy, and regulatory dimensions of getting into this constantly evolving form of gaming and entertainment. Panels include experts discussing wagering, mobile social gaming, the latest technology, and much, much more. Don't wait. Head on over to www.casinoesportconf.com and register today to attend this exciting and unique look at the esports industry. That website again is www.casinoesportconf.com. The Casino Esports Conference, live and back in Las Vegas.
Talcum Powder Hotline is a marketing firm that represents lawyers jointly advertising their services, not attorney spokesperson.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline.
Call 800-575-9786. 800-575-9786. 800-575-9786.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometimes.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beat the House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to another edition of Beat the House, where we celebrate the casino wins, the slot machine wins, the online casino wins, the lottery wins. Basically, if you win it in a gambling fashion, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we want to celebrate the people who actually beat the odds and actually take money from the casino, which is always a good thing. Well, and by the way, I'm seeing a lot of casinos promote more and more the people with the big checks. So good for them.
Well, I'm starting to see a lot of the online casinos now announce it too.
Oh, good.
So it's
good.
And we actually have our first online casino win to talk about too.
Okay.
But we are going to talk a little bit of a heartwarming story here.
Okay.
At the beginning. This happened at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tampa. Now, I saw a couple different articles about this. I don't think we've done a Florida casino yet.
We haven't? I don't think so.
Well, this is
a lot of New Jersey, a lot of Vegas.
I know we did a couple Indiana. We did New York as well. All that. I think this is our first Florida one. But Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino in Tampa. And this one we actually have a name for because this is actually a good story. Dwayne Kellaway, an operating room nurse at St. Joseph's Hospital North, who's been treating COVID patients for quite a while here. Walked away with a $112,000 automobile.
Wow, great. Good for him. Congratulations, Dwayne.
He won a, $112,245 2022 BMW X7 M50i.
Wow.
I've seen this car. This is a beautiful car.
Nice. So how do you win it?
Well, he was playing on the Seminole Wild Card. It's a slot machine.
Okay, all right.
And he won the jackpot, and he won. It was one of those things where it was a contest, and he actually just got lucky within. He inserted his card into the machine.
Okay,
and he won. He was actually picked to win the card. He didn't even pull the lever on the slot machine.
Great, good for him.
It was just a hotel contest. It was one of the loyalty card contests. So he actually put his card in, didn't do anything with the slot machine, and he just happened to win it.
Great, good for him. Good for Dwayne.
Him and his wife showed up in a 2013 Ford Taurus with over 200,000 miles on it, and he came out winning a BMW.
Great. See, that's a great story. This is why we do this segment.
Well, this is another one where he didn't take long to win this. It was 15 minutes. He put the card in, and that was it.
Those are the best stories. I mean, someone puts $1 in, and they win $1 million, or they're only playing for 2 minutes. Or I think we had one player, He had his last $5 and he was walking out of the casino. He threw the $5 in and he won a couple $100,000. So, these are all great stories. And this one's especially great because as an operating room nurse who's been really in the front lines treating COVID-19 patients.
Especially Florida.
Oh, absolutely. It's so great to see Dwayne win something like that. So
and
congratulations, Dwayne.
He got to meet NFL linebacker Derek Brooks.
Wow, he was
part of the contest.
Derek Brooks was part of the contest.
He wasn't given away in the contest.
Okay.
He was there to congratulate.
You didn't drive him around?
No, he didn't drive him around.
Okay.
It was not Derek's car that he won.
Okay.
So it was a brand new BMW. He got to meet Derek Brooks.
Great.
And all 1,100 slot players playing at the same time got $100 bonus free play.
That's great.
Next up, we got the Golden Nugget, Las Vegas. Back into Vegas we go. Local made his 6th visit to the Golden Nugget and was dealt a royal flush on Crazy 4 poker, winning $1.09 million.
Wow.
That was a progressive jackpot.
Boy, that was a great one.
That was the first win on that progressive jackpot in several years, according to the casino. No one's won it.
Well, I guess that's why it was so high. Yeah, that's why it was so high. Yeah, wow.
So, it was actually kind of a interesting win that it just so happened after years and years of growing, $1.09 million.
And this was
see a Crazy 4 poker progressive jackpot that high. Usually they win.
And this was a local, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, congratulations on that. And, again, this was a pot that was partially seeded by the casino. They start off the pot. And then it's funded by all the players.
Yeah.
So for them
to
get to $1 million, that's an incredible streak that no one claimed. So moving over to the Aliante, $100 wager on double bonus poker, another video poker machine.
That's video poker, yeah.
Yep, hit a royal flush for $80,000.
Wow, that's great.
So congratulations on that. Local. That was another local, by the way.
I gotta be honest. The only time I play the video poker is, you sit at the bar and it's right in front of you. So, you have a beer and you play some video poker. So,
well,
I gotta start doing that.
We're going from the brick and mortar to the online now.
Oh, here's the online stuff.
We've got BetMGM in Michigan. As a matter of fact, I think BetMGM in Michigan just recently launched too. It's only a couple months old in the industry. They had 2 jackpots.
2? Really? Okay.
They announced a combined payout of $442,000.
Okay.
Both were played on the MGM Grand Million slot title. Huh. Now, you're not going to see a brick-and-mortar counterpart to this game.
All right. Well,
this is a BetMGM.
Well, look, I'm
online.
in New Jersey. I have MGM. I think I have MGM on my phone, actually. I wonder if I can check it out and see if they have something like that in Jersey.
I actually took a look at the game.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
very
they do
cool.
have something like that.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
Okay.
And
right.
again,
I can tell it's cool. Look what it's paying off.
2 people on the same day.
On the same day, huh?
$313,659 to one, $129,000 to another.
Can I just say there's nothing like winning a lot of money sitting in your bedroom or sitting in your living room. It's the greatest thing in the world.
I don't want to speculate where these people were. I'm assuming they were home.
Well, but I'm just saying with these online casinos, I don't play a lot of it outside on my phone. I usually play a lot of slots or poker and at home and things like that, just because I can see it better on my computer.
Well, I remember
on my phone it's too small.
I remember the first time I noticed an online casino out and about. It was in New Jersey.
Yeah,
and sitting at a bar. And, somebody was sitting next to me, and I'm hearing noises coming from his phone. I figured he was playing just a regular game. I turned my head and I'm looking at, he's playing a slot machine.
If you're in a bar or a restaurant in New Jersey and then, someone's sitting alone at the bar, there's always something to do because they're playing slot machine or they're placing a bet somewhere or they're doing a poker tournament.
Well, at the time there was no sports betting. That was kind of, it was the first time I actually saw
now there's
it
sports betting.
Now it's now every bar is a sports book if you think about it in New Jersey.
Sure.
Especially now that we have 21 books now. With Superbook launching?
In New Jersey, we have 21 online sports books now.
That's, because the Superbook just launched, so we now have 21. So it's kind of, anywhere you go is actually a sports book now. as long as your geolocation works.
So if you have a phone in New Jersey, you're never bored.
No.
You have poker, you have online slots, you have baccarat, you have blackjack, you have sports betting.
You even have virtual sports now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. I actually played virtual horse racing on Borgata, which was pretty interesting.
You should actually take a look at some of it, because a lot of the online casinos now have a brand new suite of virtual games from it.
Okay, yeah.
So take a look at some of those. So they're actually getting better. We're going to end it with another Facebook story with the Australian lottery.
Oh, another Facebook story.
An Australian woman who won the $3.5 million lottery jackpot. I'm saying $3.5 million. That's Australian, $3.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
She only knew she won because she saw a Facebook post about the unclaimed prize.
Wow.
I don't know how you not.
That's
check
pretty
your
lucky,
numbers.
because that could run out. You know, if you don't claim your ticket within a certain time, I don't know about the Australian lottery, but if you don't claim your ticket in a certain time, you don't get your money.
Well, she did not check her lottery ticket. So if it wasn't for that Facebook post, she would not have gone to the lottery division and said she was the winner.
Okay.
She bought a ticket for the Set for Life drawing from Bargo News Agency, but she didn't check the results. Now, again, I just said this a little 2 seconds ago here, but how do you not check your results? I mean, do you if you forget? I understand if you forget about the ticket.
I mean, I've done that. I mean, you got things going on in your life, and you put your ticket in your wallet, and you walk around, and you realize, hey, I found a lottery ticket, and let me check it out. You're just lucky, it's within that time when you can actually still claim the prize.
Well, this is what she said. Everybody was going absolutely wild, and so I thought I better head down to the news agency to check my tickets too. So I guess she missed the drawing, is what that implies.
I guess.
I mean, do they tell? I don't even know if
I
they
gotta be honest
televise
with
the
you.
drawing in Australia.
I don't. I buy lottery tickets once in a while, and I haven't seen a drawing in years. Well, I don't even know when the drawing is.
That's one of the benefits that we have with the online lotteries around here. I mean, they actually have Mega Millions and Powerball and some of the other different jackpots out there on their site. You can actually just log on and check it right there.
Well, certainly you look online, but one of the greatest things that ever was invented with regard to the lottery are those card scanners. You put the card in it and you see if you won or not.
Well, that's what she did. She went down to the news agency and scanned the ticket.
Oh, okay.
She didn't go to a teller. She scanned the ticket, which I actually think is smart, too, because it's a good way to initially check it.
Yeah, I think early on when the scanners came out, I remember doing, you scan your ticket, it said loser. And I guess they changed it around to make it a little less negative, not a winner.
Yeah, so, a lot of them say not a winning ticket now. Yeah, so I guess they were hurting
you don't want a
people's
machine
feelings.
calling you a loser. It's bad marketing.
See, I don't remember it saying loser. I remember seeing this is a losing ticket.
Losing ticket, you
something
lost,
like
or
that.
something like that.
But
it all translate into you're a loser.
In this PC age, I guess you kind of have to
I think they said
make
not
allowance for.
Now it's not a winner.
Yeah. Well, again, PC, you got to make people feel good even about losing.
Yeah, well, that's marketing.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Beat the House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Well, our picks are coming next. The one thing I'm very frightened of because
Week 1 picks.
I the most difficult week for me to pick football is because I just don't know the teams very well yet. So, we're going to do the picks next, and we'll see how it goes from there. Stick around. We'll be back with more Turnpike Sports. Having a rough morning after a long night out? Stayed at the party a little too long and you have work the next day? Well, we've all been there. That's why there's Morning Recovery. Morning Recovery is the flagship product of More Labs, and it's scientifically engineered to outsmart rough mornings. Their patent-pending formula has been designed to boost your body's natural response to alcohol, rehydrate, and restore your body's vital nutrients. What's that all mean? It means Morning Recovery helps you feel better after drinking. Take one full bottle right before your first drink, between drinks, or up to 1 hour after your last drink. Go get some rest and wake up feeling like $1,000,000. It's that simple. And we've got a special offer for you. Use promo code radio15 at morelabs.com and get 15% off of your first purchase of Morning Recovery or any of their other great products. That's radio15 at morelabs.com to take advantage of this great promo of 15% off of your first purchase. Morning Recovery from More Labs, so you can work hard, play hard, and live life without compromise. This week's Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. Football is back, and Caesars Sportsbook is celebrating the new season with a great welcome offer. Sign up with Caesars Sportsbook using our promo code PIKERF to receive a risk-free bet up to $5,000. That's promo code PIKERF for a risk-free bet up to $5,000 at Caesars Sportsbook. Bet like a Caesar with Caesars Sportsbook. Must be at least 21 years old to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, week 1 is finally here.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I have been waiting and waiting. The exhibition season, preseason, was only 3 weeks, but it felt a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was. Maybe it was just because this year is the extra week and everything else, but it just felt like preseason dragged a bit. But we are finally here, week 1. We are making our first picks of the season, and it's just like we did last year. We're going to be picking 3 teams each. We're going to be doing either the points or the totals. We're not doing money line.
No, that's too easy.
No, that's way too easy.
Actually,
I shouldn't say that.
That's for my parlays.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I get ahead of myself there. But, again, it's going to be points or totals. And these are going to be on the Turnpike Sports blog after the show publishes. Just head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog button, and you'll see the picks right there in written form.
By the way, the picks, the spread and the over-unders we're using Caesars Sportsbook, like I said in the read. So, check them out.
You can follow along.
Yep,
I mean, we're taping this a little earlier in the week, so the odds and totals may change by the time kickoff.
Always check before you place a bet.
Yeah, and, shop around, too.
Absolutely.
We're not going to kid anyone there, so shop around. If you see something better, go for it. But we're using Caesars Sportsbook this week. We'll be alternating throughout the year. Right now, I'm going to start off with our first pick of the year. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Atlanta Falcons for week 1.
I stayed away from this one.
Falcons are favored by 3.5, and there's an over-under of 48. Now, neither of these teams did extremely well last year. And, again, this is week 1. There's not much to go on, and both the Eagles and the Falcons lost to some people. They have some people out for COVID as well, from what I understand. So we'll see exactly how it goes. But, again, a couple stats I just did some quick research on. Both teams have gone under in 5 straight head-to-head meetings, and neither team scored more than 40 in 3 of their last 4. And I think that over/under of 48 is just a little too high. It's probably going to come down by kickoff, but I'm going to go with the under 48 with this game.
All right, my first game is the New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers, who are 5-point favorites with an over-under of 45. I think this is going to be a very interesting game, just to see how Sam Darnold plays against his old team. I think this one's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think this one's going to be probably decided in the fourth quarter because I don't think any team has an explosive offense. But get this one. Carolina is 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games as a favorite, and they're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games as a home favorite. And I think that's what's going to happen in this one. The Jets may not win it, but I think they're going to keep it close, so I'm taking the underdog Jets. And you know what, Doug? I told you that earlier in the week, and I was trying to think, should I pull the trigger on the Jets with 5? And we're talking about Caesars Sportsbook. They had 5. Other sportsbooks had 4.5. So what a great number from Caesar. So I'm going with the 5-point underdog New York Jets.
Well, I have to admit, I did something already for this game.
Okay.
I didn't pick them this week. They're not one of my picks, but I just wanted to say this. I did a prop bet on it.
Oh, okay.
I have Darnold going 2 or more touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be interesting to see. The Jets don't have any defensive backs, really. They're starting all rookies back there, except for Marcus May. So that'll be interesting to watch. I think Darnold may actually end up having a good day. So I always liked him with the Jets anyway. I have nothing against the guy. My next pick, Cleveland Browns at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 6, and there's an over-under of 53. Couple of trends stood out for me, and again, I'm going basically on some basic trends here. I don't really have too much data to go on right now because it's week 1. The road team is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 meetings. The Browns are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 meetings in Kansas City. The Browns are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 meetings overall. And the Chiefs are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 versus the AFC. I think you can see where I'm going here. Simply, I like what Cleveland did last year. I think their defense is good. I think their offense needs some work, and it's probably going to get better. But, again, that defense may actually be working in their favor in week 1. I think Kansas City's got some issues with some offensive linemen anyway, especially with COVID again. So we'll see what happens. But I'm doing the Browns plus 6.
All right, my next game is the Green Bay Packers, who are favored by 4 points versus the New Orleans Saints with an over-under of 50. And because of Hurricane Ida, New Orleans have relocated to play this game in Florida, so I'm not sure how much of a home field advantage there is there. But look, I don't agree with the Saints picking Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback. Mr. Interception, and I think he's going to be good for a couple interceptions here because my reasoning is that the Green Bay Packers are going to lead most of the time in this game, so New Orleans will have to throw the ball. And like I said, I think there's going to be a couple interceptions from Winston, and I'm surprised that the point spread is only Green Bay by 4. So I think I'm taking Green Bay and laying the points.
Well, the other thing is Aaron Rodgers has a really bad quarterback rating in Florida, too. Did you see that little stat out there for stat mavens out there? But, I'm actually curious to see that game. I want to see if Jameis Winston actually cleans up his act.
I don't know. We'll see.
My last game of the week, the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. Patriots are favored by 3 points, and there's an over-under of 43.5. I think I told you
low-scoring game. I guess everyone's picking a low-scoring game on that one, huh?
Well, again, you got a rookie quarterback with New England.
Sure.
And I don't know about that offense in Miami. It really wasn't that explosive last year. Miami won a lot of games with their defense. And with New England having a lot of players returning, they brought in a lot of players that are actually, making that defense more solid. I actually trust both defenses more than I trust any of the offenses in this game. And again, I have this little theory, and I think a lot of people may have picked up on it anyway. So New England's first month of the season, September, is always their worst month. They always seem to get their offense in sync starting in October. So they actually have an extended preseason in September. These two teams are bookending the season here. They're going to play the first week, and they're also going to end their seasons playing each other in the last week. I actually think this is the game that Miami could come out and do some damage to New England here, but I'm not picking the spread. I'm not picking the Dolphins to win. I'm going with the under 43.5.
Under 43, wow.
I just don't see these offenses doing anything.
That'll be a boring game.
Well, again, it's a matter of a rookie quarterback on one side. Miami has a good defense, no matter what anyone says. I like what Miami did. I hate them because they're in the AFC East, but I do in this game. I like the defenses playing against each other tough. And I think the defenses can control this game. So, again, under 43.5.
All right, my last game is the Baltimore Ravens, who are favored by 4.5 points versus the Las Vegas Raiders with an over-under of 51. I'm picking this game because I love this story and I love this trend. Now, look, I don't put too much stock in preseason, but get this. Since 2016, the Baltimore Ravens are undefeated in preseason. Now, they didn't have any preseason games last year because of COVID. So the stat is they are 4-0 against the spread when they go undefeated in preseason in their first game. And I think it's going to continue because they went undefeated this year. I think it's going to be 5-0 against the spread after going undefeated in preseason. So I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens because I just love that trend and I love that story.
You know, again,
it's weird. It's a weird thing, but I like it.
But no, you know, week one, anything can happen in week one. This is the week to try out different things, different stats, different research, and see if it works. But it's been
happening since 2016. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to ride it. So until it doesn't do it anymore.
Well, let's recap our first week's picks. And again, not a lot of stats to back any of these things up, but I went with
come on. That was a great stat with the preseason. When else do you use preseason stats?
Never, really.
That's the one and only time I'm going to reference preseason in these pick segment.
Well, let's recap.
All right.
Eagles-Falcons game, I went with the under 48. Browns-Kansas City Chiefs games, I went with the underdog Browns +6. And the Dolphins-Patriots, I went with the under 43.5.
Okay, for me, the Jets-Panthers, I'm taking the underdog Jets. The Packers-Saints, I'm taking the Packers and laying the 4 points. And I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens to win by more than 4.5 points versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, that's the first week's picks in the book. And again, these will be on the Turnpike Sports blog after the show publishes. Head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog button. You'll see them there. Feel free to comment. Feel free to throw in your own picks. Also, info@turnpikesportsradio.com is our email address. You can also follow us on social media at Turnpike Sports on Twitter, at Turnpike Sports Radio on Instagram, and on Facebook, we're at Turnpike Sports there as well.
Stick around because the book report's next with more Turnpike Sports.
Tax Solutions Now is a complimentary referral service that connects callers to companies that provide tax services.
Money matters. If you owe thousands in back taxes to the IRS, how much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I paid less than I owe.
That's right. Money matters. So call Tax Solutions Now and get the IRS off your back. Since 2014, Tax Solutions Now has been a leader in the tax resolution industry. Remove wage garnishments, property liens, fines, and penalties. Qualify for the Fresh Start program or even uncollectible status. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I owed the IRS over $10,000. I paid a fraction of what I owed.
Call now to reduce or even eliminate your back taxes.
I called Tax Solutions Now and got the IRS off my back. Thanks. You saved us a ton of money.
Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you? Call now and find out.
Call 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-231-9279. That's 800-231-9279. 800-231-9279.
More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Sign up today at PlaySugarHouse.com and don't forget to use our promo code PIKE to take advantage of their first deposit match up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Book Report. We've got a lot of state and national sports betting numbers to report. We've got international numbers to report now, too. We've got a bunch of launches, a lot of legislative updates, and another week full of deals.
Yeah, a lot of deals.
Well, let's start off with some numbers. We have the American Gaming Association just released their commercial revenue tracker for the month of July.
Okay.
And according to the AGA, July set the new record for monthly U.S. commercial gaming revenue, reaching $4.83 billion.
Wow.
That's through the first 7 months of the year, and the commercial gaming revenue, according to the AGA, has nearly matched the industry's total for all of 2020.
Wow.
So we're off to a good recovery again, after all the COVID reopenings.
Plus, there's a whole bunch of new sports books and a bunch of states really coming online, so it's great to see.
Yep. We have also, let's see, the limited summer sports calendar, according to the AGA still, led to the lowest level of monthly sports betting activity so far this year.
Okay.
Yep. Americans legally bet $2.42 billion. That's still a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Down almost 34% from June.
Okay.
So slow sports betting calendar led to a lower level of sports betting activity, but the overall commercial gaming revenue still set a record.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that. A little surprised because, not only baseball, which, is always a less number than football, basketball, and hockey, but it seems like we had the Olympics this year. I'm surprised, more betting wasn't on the Olympics.
Well, I still think in this country, maybe the Olympic betting still hasn't caught on everywhere yet.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I didn't place one bet on the Olympics. I'm just not familiar with those sports, so, I didn't do it. But I know a lot of people who did bet on the Olympics, and I'm surprised, it didn't reflect in the betting numbers.
Well, they had a good amount of Olympic betting.
It's great. I mean, it's amazing. I just thought, I'm still waiting for that report. How many people or how much revenue was gotten by books from the Olympics?
Well, again, the Olympics for me, the big problem I had with the Olympics, I couldn't figure out what was on at the time. What sport was going on?
Yeah.
The
time difference was a little tough.
I had that problem with overseas soccer too.
Sure.
I can't keep track of everything. So. But, good numbers for the overall commercial gaming sector.
Absolutely
in terms
amazing
of revenue.
Numbers. Yeah.
Over with the NFL, we have the NFL season starting up soon. The NFL is estimating that it will generate $270 million in revenue through the agreements with the casino companies and the sportsbook operators.
I remember a time just a couple of years ago when the NFL thought that the worst thing you could do in life is place a bet on sports, and look how far they've come.
The evils of sports betting.
I'm glad the NFL has come to realize that sports betting isn't that evil.
No. As a matter of fact, it's very beneficial.
It's very beneficial.
Let's see. This was interesting. According to the Washington Post, they did a survey, the league, the National Football League did a survey and researched their fans' attitudes toward betting.
Okay.
They discovered that half are either active or aspiring casual bettors.
Okay.
While another 30% are ambivalent toward sports betting.
Okay. All right.
Now, here's this one.
Were there people, fans of the sport, totally against it?
Well, according to the research, the percentage of active rejectors.
Active rejectors?
People who don't like sports betting associated with the league.
That's an interesting term they use, active rejectors.
Was 20% back when the NFL started looking at the sports betting industry more seriously. We're talking about last year, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In this new set of research, that figure has since tumbled to 12%.
No, it's
So their fan base is starting to become a lot more approving of sports betting.
Well, I think
say.
the fan base is also educating themselves about sports betting. You know, more states are jumping online in sports betting. It's more in front of their face. It's something they can understand, and maybe, you know, they didn't know a lot about it beforehand, but now they know about it, and you know, maybe their attitudes have changed.
Well, we'll see exactly where they go with this. I mean, $270 million as additional revenue because of all these deals is not a shabby thing to see in a year. Moving over to Canada. We now can report on Canada.
Okay, yeah.
They just launched their sports betting market.
It just went legal. What's the official term of it? Single event betting?
Single event sports betting.
Okay, all right.
Because they always had parlay.
They were like Delaware years ago.
Yes.
Delaware had sports betting, but it could only place a bet if it was in the form of a parlay. And Canada was like that.
Right now, it's only the provincial lotteries are running sports betting. There's a couple others coming, you know, pretty quickly. A lot of the third-party operators are saying December, but you may see one or two launch before that. And by the time this airs, we may see something else launch.
I would think everyone's really moving quickly. I mean, the NFL is starting up. We already have college football going. I would think these third-party operators would be scrambling to get going in Canada really quick.
Well, we already have a handle report from Canada.
Oh, already? Wow.
Yep. The Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation, which runs the, I think it's called the ProLine Online Sportsbook. As a matter of fact, I took a look at this. It actually is a really cool-looking site.
Okay, and this is online.
This is online. It's
All
an
right.
online sportsbook run by the Ontario Lottery. They reported that the first 5 days of legal single-event sports betting across Ontario, this is just Ontario,
okay,
brought in $1 million Canadian over the first 5 days in terms of handle.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 days, $1 million.
Very
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah, hey, it's
for
new.
a brand new
It's brand
new
new.
industry. Let's see. Over in British Columbia, the British Columbia Lottery Corporation, which runs the Play Now online website, they reported 1,200 new players in just the first couple of days, and a 96% increase in the number of wagers and a 72% increase in the amount of money wagered.
I'm still waiting for the report to see what they're betting on. You know, are they like Colorado and they love their table tennis, or is it college football? Or,
well, they will be providing breakdowns.
Good,
a lot of places
good,
are going to start reporting on the breakdowns, and
very,
we'll have to do an updated segment at some point talking about.
I'm very curious to see if there's one very interesting sport that Canadian bettors bet on that maybe American U.S. bettors don't bet on. I'm very curious about that.
Well, funny you should mention table tennis, though.
Oh, table tennis. Oh, my
we
favorite
have Colorado.
Is it Colorado?
Numbers.
Okay,
we have,
figures. Yep.
Table tennis.
Did it crack the top five? It's been 6 for a long time. The sixth most bet on sport.
Well, this month in July, even though, you know, Colorado is suffering from everybody else, the slower sports calendar, lower handle, all that stuff.
Hey, there's still table tennis.
Table tennis broke into the top 5.
Ooh, look at that.
They rounded out the top 5.
Okay,
as a matter of fact.
Number 5, huh?
They rounded out the top 5 with $8 million in handle,
wow,
or 4.8% of the total handle.
Wow.
They beat out golf and MMA.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hockey was even lower, too. But top sports in Colorado.
What hockey bets are they?
There's
I guess
hockey
there must be future bets. I guess.
Also there's overseas hockey.
I guess.
But yeah, baseball took the top spot with $61 million. Basketball came in second with $27 million. Third was soccer, or football, however you want to phrase that. And fourth went to tennis with $12 million, and then table tennis brought in the 8.
Table tennis. Look at that.
So again, Colorado sports bettors love them some table tennis. Let's go over to some launches. We have a bunch of different launches, bunch of different states. We actually have a brand new state to talk about. We have Wyoming.
Yes, Wyoming jumped on board.
Wyoming, the quickest to legislation to implementation of all the states.
Really? Okay.
They are now the 24th U.S. jurisdiction to offer legal sports betting. It's an online-only market. Nothing has to be tethered to a land-based casino.
Great.
Mainly because there's only tribal casinos there, I believe. This is online only. It's also one of the few jurisdictions that not only allows you to fund and deal with your sports betting transactions with cryptocurrency.
Okay.
it's 18 and older.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm curious to see what college is going to do something with a sports book already.
Okay.
Because that's going to be a little different than I know we had, Colorado had a college do a deal with PointsBet, and we have another college in Denver. I think Denver University just did another deal with another sports book.
Yep.
But I'm curious to see what happens in Wyoming if there's some sort of restrictions in place for a student body of a college because they're 18 years old.
Sure. I think the NCAA was going to have to come up with some procedures or rules and regulations to address the issues.
Well, for college betting, just so you know, in Wyoming, no college prop bets.
Okay.
You can bet on the college games, but no prop bets.
Okay.
So I guess that's one little safeguard in there. First Bet in the state was also done at DraftKings, which was one of the two sports books to launch. It was DraftKings and BetMGM right away.
Wow. Okay.
As soon as they announced it.
Right off the bat, huh? DraftKings and BetMGM, huh?
But the first bet taken at DraftKings, it was a $1.10 bet on the UAB at Jacksonville.
By the way, I bet on that game, too. I went with Jacksonville State.
And this person did, too.
Okay, well, then we both lost because they lost to UAB 31-0.
Yep.
So, Jacksonville State was a 16.5-point underdog, so I went with Jacksonville State. So.
Someone must have seen the exact same thing you saw and went to do the plus 16.5. And
that's a very interesting amount wagered, $1.10.
Well, they must have looked at dollar figure first, the outcome first.
Okay, all right.
They plugged in what they wanted to win and how much they wanted to do it. Also, it could have been celebratory,
yeah, I know,
because ceremonial, not celebratory.
Well,
ceremonial.
It's well, look, I mean, you want to make sure it works, so I guess you don't want to risk too much, huh?
No. Going over to a couple other launches in the country, we have. Arizona is going to be interesting to watch. They haven't launched yet. They did say that they are looking at a launch 12:01 a.m. on Thursday morning, September 9th, and that's about 20 hours before the Cowboys-Buccaneers game. That's the opening night game.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is there's a lawsuit.
So by the time this airs,
we may or may not see a new state launch.
It should be up and going, huh?
Well, no, there's a lawsuit.
Yeah, there's a lawsuit, okay.
They're going to be doing a hearing on the Monday after we're recording this, just, so everyone knows this is before the week began here. There's a lawsuit going on. We'll see exactly whether or not they can launch or whether it's stayed or there's an injunction. If everything goes through, they're live 12:01 a.m. Thursday morning, September 9th. And everyone can enjoy the NFL season in Arizona.
So, but I'm thinking it's going to launch.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what kind of strength the.
I would place a bet that it will launch. So so September 9th. That's the if you're in Arizona, circle that date.
Over in Washington D.C., we had a interesting launch. Ellis Game Technology. Now. That company just acquired U.S. Bookmaking not too long ago. They have a deal in place with the Grand Central Restaurant and Bar Group in Washington, D.C., and they just got their sports betting license to operate a sports book in the Grand Central Restaurant.
Wow, that's cool.
It's going to be kind of interesting because, again, it's still, depending on the neighborhood in D.C., I know there's a couple different neighborhood groups that are against having sports books in some of their bars, because they're not attacking the sports betting licenses, they're now attacking the liquor licenses.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how D.C. pans out. I'm all for this, as a matter of fact.
Sure,
if it's kiosk operated, it's like a lottery thing.
That's what I'm thinking. When we say a sports book operating in a bar and restaurant, what we're really talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, are kiosks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look like lottery machines.
Yeah. They're like, yeah. They're kiosks. So it's just in the corner of a room. So...
Moving over to Tennessee, we have two new books in Tennessee. Tennessee Education Lottery announced two new sportsbook operators. Barstool Sportsbook,
okay,
which also launched in Virginia, by the way.
Okay. And the week before in New Jersey. Yeah.
And the social sports betting app, Wager, the very first state for Wager.
Oh, okay.
And that's betting among friends.
Oh, that's
it's not
a sports book,
It's
really.
peer-to-peer.
It's peer-to-peer kind of thing. Okay.
So, You know, that's kind of going to be an interesting one to watch because, I think you have Zen Sports almost like that too, but they're more of a betting exchange than a friend-to-friend kind of thing. So,
I'm curious to see how that works out.
So, we now have 9 in the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
So
and they're online only, right?
They're online only. Going over into some legislative areas, Ohio is just a mystery to me. The Ohio Casino Control Commission asked the legislature to extend the deadline for issuing licenses.
Wow.
The original bill called for license applications to start being taken January 1st of 2022. Mm-hmm. They now have asked for a 6-month window from the first of the year to begin the accepting application process, and then there's a 10-month window after that window is closed. So I don't know if we're talking football of 2022, football season of 2022 for Ohio, or are we talking 2023 now?
Wow. Ohio better get their act together. I mean, that is such a great sports state. And, I think it'll be such an incredible sports betting market and make Ohio a lot of money. So, I hope they get all their ducks in a row pretty soon.
Yeah, just so as a comparison, Connecticut, zipping right along. The sports betting and online gaming regulations were approved 9-4 by the state's legislative review committee. So they're moving ahead. All they're waiting on right now is the Department of Interior to rule on the 2 gaming compacts between the tribes.
So it's safe to say that Connecticut this fall, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, you're going to place a bet this fall in Connecticut, right?
It's going to happen.
I'm feeling it's really, really close in Connecticut.
It may not happen by the time the Buccaneers-Cowboys game, because the end of the 45-day window for the Department of Interior is the 10th. So, but again, they may throw a letter out this week before the game starts.
Yep.
So we may see Connecticut launch, we may not. Florida is going to be a mess. Yep. We have the lawsuits going against the compacts, and especially against the Governor DeSantis there. So Governor DeSantis decided to file a response himself. He went pro se, or he went through the in-house counsel of the governor's office, saying the group suing the state did not have standing. He has sovereign immunity. They didn't name the Seminole tribe in the lawsuit. So he filed his own motion to dismiss. According to all the experts out there that read through the complaint, I haven't read through the entire complaint yet. He didn't cite a single thing of law.
Oh, he didn't cite law. No, he didn't say it's like case law.
He cited
or
one or
anything?
2 basic points
of
law.
I haven't read the complaint.
There really was no case law cited, which you actually kind of need in these types of filings.
We'll see what happens. I think it's Florida's sports betting is going to move forward.
Well, sports betting retail is going to move forward.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is only for the online side.
Yeah.
And again, you also have the DraftKings FanDuel ballot initiative still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, you may see another ballot initiative towards the end of the year.
Florida is going to have sports betting. It's just going to limp along for a little while, and then it's going to it's just going to explode online. So that's what's going to happen in Florida.
Let's talk a couple of deals here before we get out of here for the week. Let's see. Rush Street signed a couple of brand ambassadors.
Oh, okay.
BetRivers.com. That's their forward-facing book.
Okay.
They announced the signing of tennis pro James Blake and the 3-time Super Bowl champion Mark Schlereth as brand ambassadors.
Great. I don't hear a lot of tennis players being ambassadors. I think it's great.
Well, again, you got to start thinking outside the box. You got to cover all sports, and especially now with I guess it's the U.S. Open going on, as well as a couple of the other big tennis tournaments where actually crowds are starting to come back to now.
Mm-hmm.
Tennis is a big betting sport, and it's just going to get bigger, I think.
I know a lot of people who bet on tennis.
So James Blake will be part of the, and also Mark Schlereth. They're both part of the Bet with a Winner program that BetRivers has.
So am I going to hear them on radio commercials or see them on television commercials or see them all over my Twitter timeline? Is that what I'm looking for?
You'll see them on social media, those platforms, that sort of stuff. But Schlereth also does a lot of content for him. He's going to do some video work, Colorado mostly.
Okay.
Denver Bronco stuff.
Well, yeah, he was a Bronco. Yeah.
He's also going to do weekly NFL and Broncos picks for BetRivers. And it's going to be kind of interesting to watch this because I like Schlereth. Schlereth is a great analyst, and I don't know if he's still doing the ESPN spots that he was doing.
I don't know.
That's going to be kind of interesting to see if he actually gets on with that stuff as well. BetMGM went outside the country.
Oh, okay.
They announced a strategic partnership with Casino Del Mar at La Concha Restaurant in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
La Concha Resort.
I'm sorry, restaurant.
I'm sure they have a restaurant there.
But no, they went to Puerto Rico.
Great.
Puerto Rico has not legalized sports betting just yet. They're moving toward it. That's another location that kind of bears watching.
Okay.
They have a huge sports following industry that, the people love all their different soccer, tennis, all that. That's a huge area for that stuff.
Sure.
So BetMGM will be doing a retail and a mobile sports betting operation with the resort once it becomes legalized in Puerto Rico.
Great.
University of Denver. I think I mentioned this earlier on.
Yeah.
Multi-year partnership with Superbook.
Who, by the way, also went online with their mobile sportsbook in New Jersey.
Number 21 for Jersey.
Number 21 for New Jersey.
But Superbook, the first place outside of Nevada that they launched was in Colorado.
Okay.
So they did a deal with the University of Nevada.
Nope, University of
Denver. Why? Every time I'm talking about a sportsbook, it's hard for me to say Colorado names with this stuff. But University of Denver, with Superbook Sports, they're the second school in the state with a Colorado sportsbook agreement.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you saying
Colorado University.
Yeah. Okay.
With PointsBet.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, unlike Wyoming, this is a 21 plus jurisdiction. So.
Right.
I think these did not get looked at too hard because of the 21 plus. I just said this before, Wyoming's going to be different. So it's going to be branding, media, hospitality, assets, social media, basically sort of what the books do with the NFL teams.
Okay,
that type of deal.
Yep.
So we'll see exactly how many more schools in Colorado are going to be doing this because there's a lot to choose from out there. I think there's, 24, 25 online books in Colorado.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's more than New Jersey. New Jersey has 21. I think Colorado has more online sports books.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't know if we talked about this, but if we did not, we might as well talk about it now. Oregon Lottery chose DraftKings to replace Intralot with the scoreboard sports betting app there. DraftKings gave up fantasy sports, but DraftKings is already starting to move ahead with the new sports betting side in Oregon, and we may see that launch soon.
Great.
Possibly by football.
Great.
I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Sling TV launched the Barstool Sports Network.
Oh, they launched
the
it,
channel, I should call it that. They call it the Barstool Sports Network.
I know they announced it. I didn't know they launched it.
It premiered over the weekend.
Great.
So I'm kind of curious to watch it. Fubo Gaming, the Fubo TV with the sports betting integrated into their live streams there. Fubo Gaming announced a partnership with the Ak-Chin Indian community in Arizona. So that's another Arizona sports betting deal.
Arizona's going to be huge.
Same thing with WinBet. WinBet did a deal with the San Carlos Apache Tribal Gaming Enterprise, which operates the Apache Gold Casino and Apache Sky Casinos in Arizona. That's WinBet's 16th state. So WinBet's growing as well. One other little...
I finally saw their commercial with Ben Affleck.
That was the one I was just going to mention.
Oh, okay,
WinBet
you mentioned WinBet, and I was like, what commercial is this?
That's what I was going to hit. The WinBet advertising campaign launched. Kind of interesting to, that commercial does have a completely different feel than every other sports betting commercial out there. I mean, I know we said that about Caesars when they did it.
Yep.
But WinBet went in a completely different direction, and actually was kind of fun to watch that commercial.
It's good. Yeah, no, check it out.
I know they had a 2.5-minute version.
Oh, okay.
On their website.
No, I didn't see a 2.5-minute
version.
Yeah,
no, the one out there is a minute or something.
Yeah, I think I saw a minute one. But no, it's interesting. Anyone out there who wants to check it out, I guess they can Google it. I would guess it's online everywhere.
And just for people who follow Ultimate Disc.
Ultimate Disc.
The American Ultimate Disc League, AUDL, they had a partnership with DraftKings for data and all that stuff and doing some different things. They are now going to be the featured game of the week on the DraftKings Friday Game of the Week. You're going to be able to see
Where
it for
would
free.
I see that? I mean, I can watch. Do I have to go to DraftKings?
Available. I'm getting to that right now.
Right,
I'm plowing through the release. Available free to viewers on the DraftKings Dream Stream on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay, I'll check out YouTube and Twitch.
They're going to be doing every week, each Friday night, they're going to pick a game from the AUDL.
All right.
And feature that. They're also going to be doing a free-to-play game.
Okay.
For the AUDL with cash prizes for winners. There's going to be a weekly segment called Lepler's Locks featuring the voice of the AUDL, Evan Lepler, every Wednesday on Facebook Live and also on demand on the AUDL website. Ultimate Disc League. That's the Frisbee League.
Okay. All right.
Just in case anyone didn't realize what I was talking about there. I apologize. I should have said that at the beginning of that segment. That's it for this week. But there's a whole bunch more to talk about, but in the time we had, we did not get to it. As always, head on over to TurnpikeSportsRadio.com, click on the blog button, and you will see our full book report in print form. Just like I said, click on the blog, and any news that you want us to report on, info@TurnpikeSportsRadio.com is the email address for the show.
And that'll do for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.